This is On the Floor. Welcome to today's show. Like this video, share this video, subscribe, click the notification bell, ding the dong, bing the bong, all that great stuff. I am CK and I'm here with Ray Ray. Ray Ray, what it up?
What is up? It's Ted Cruz.
That's it. One
That's
vote away. You
That's
might
right.
you might hold it up one more time. One more time. How a single Supreme Court seat could change history. Everybody go cop the Ted Cruz book. Like, get 2 copies. One for yourself and one to give away. Yes. And got the signature. And got the signature. So don't y'all try to jump on Ray Ray to take her copy because she got the signature. You might not get one, but definitely get two copies plus. One for yourself, a spare, one to give away. And yeah, so yes. So appreciate that, Ray Ray. So On the Floor is a show where we go through the lost and found and dumpsters of the internet and look at current events. We will either sweep or keep people or determine if a situation is trash or treasure. And also, people might get banished. Yes. Season 2 On the Floor. We're not playing with y'all. So Ray Ray, what is up? You got any news or anything besides the Ted Cruz book for us?
Not really. I'm just paying attention to this fake impeachment trial. That's
about yeah. We'll get into those shenanigans. People are dancing in the streets like clowns. I don't know why, but we'll definitely get into it. And speaking of a clown, the first story for today, and we're not just doing just politics. Everybody's getting it now. Nobody's off limits. So the first story of the day, believe it or not, is a clown, and not your normal Democrat clown, but there are actual people, no kidding, who now I've never really had hair, so I can't really tell you if this is something that happens all the time, but apparently people are putting not just the glue you get from the hair store in their head, but Gorilla Glue. So Ray Ray, have you heard about this Gorilla Glue nonsense? And is it possible for your everyday average person to do this Gorilla Glue nonsense and end up like a Gorilla Glue girl, Ghetto, whatever her name is?
Yeah, I don't understand it. She was talking about suing also. I don't know how she's going to sue because Gorilla Glue is something that you find in hardware stores. And even if she went into a dollar store, the Gorilla Glue wouldn't be in an area where there's hair care products at. So
Right.
If you get the can and you look on it and you read it, it tells you that it's not for your skin or anything else. I don't know. I didn't even know they had a glue spray for hair. Like, I don't know. And why are we so concerned like that? Like, why are you can't have a hair out of place? Like, why are we so pressed like that you would put Gorilla Glue in your hair? I don't know. I'm glad that they're helping her.
Well, yeah, so Gorilla Glue girl, Ghetto Gorilla Glue girl. If you all have not really heard about it, the girl went viral for placing Gorilla Glue in her hair. A TikToker. I think she was trying to beef up her social media, and it kind of worked because she now has millions of followers on TikTok. She's getting AdSense revenue. She has a GoFundMe. I'm gonna put the GoFundMe up. And she had the procedure done for free, and she's somewhat famous. So even though she looks a mess, and she's gonna forever be known as dumb. So Amanike Obama Max says she is 40 with 5 children, daycare worker. Yeah.
No.
So
no, hell no. And she putting Gorilla Glue. No, Onika.
Yes. That's the thing. Because it's one thing if she was like maybe 5. If she was 5, I could kind of see that, her putting the Gorilla Glue in her hair. If she was like 5 years old, she don't know any better, first time really, messing with her hair or whatever. Or let's just say it's a man who his whole life has been a man and now he's transitioned, because I mean, the thing about it is if someone is like, what, I'm transitioning, my first time being a man, I don't know nothing about being a woman, I'm going to go and put the Gorilla Glue in my hair. I could kind of be like, okay, cool. Because, you didn't grow up as a girl. or you're not really a woman. You're kind of like, playing, cosplay as a woman till you get your stuff chopped off. If that man, woman, or that the child doesn't know any better, okay, cool. But Tessica Brown, ghetto gorilla glue girl, she got the procedure done. It's out of her hair. The procedure is done. It's out of her hair. And the procedure was done in Los Angeles by like a black surgeon. He did it for free. So because he did it for free, what's gonna happen? And I'm hating at this point. I'm hating. Sorry, Tessica, I'm hating on you. What exactly is gonna happen to this 20K? Because she raised 20K of a $1,500 goal. Where is money going to? Because normally these GoFundMe's are associated with funerals. Somebody's trying to follow their baby daddy. They need help with surveillance equipment, so they do a GoFundMe for that. We do GoFundMe's for a whole bunch of just nonsense. Where's this 20K going? We know it's going in Tessica Brown and Juanita Brown's pocket, but are they going to give the money back? Or are they going to take a trip to Vegas and party and celebrate these shenanigans? And furthermore, there were a lot of people who called themselves trying to roast her, but to put a comment on the GoFundMe, you basically have to donate. So it was people who were donating so they could roast her. But what you ought to understand is, with you all, she's not going to read your roast comments. She's all she's going to do is cash the check, pocket the money, and be good to go. So Ray Ray, got to ask you, do you think it's worth it, since she was trying to blow up on TikTok, get a whole bunch of money, and apparently she got 5 children. She got 5 children. She's 40 and the daycare worker. You think it's worth it?
No, and I don't know that I would want her working in the daycare if she's making choices like that. But I think she should return the money. I think she should. He did it for free. You don't need the money now. I think she should be. That was just a really stupid, idiotic thing to do.
Yeah.
I need 17,000. Anybody who could hit my Cash App. I have an invention stuck in R&D. So if y'all got money to give away, my Cash App should be down there in the description somewhere. Hook it up.
And
there's money to give away in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, and apparently Ray Ray's not gonna put Gorilla Glue in her hair, so don't even ask. But yeah, Ray Ray's Cash App and Patreon, scroll around the bottom. Definitely go support. We support a lot of funerals, gorilla hair, and people wanting to take a trip to go, meet their baby daddy and spy on him and stuff. But we need to support things that are going to help out the economy and help us out business wise, because if not, we're going to get to a point where it's going to be a bunch of people. Like there's somebody else a woman who attempted to wax her genital area with some tape. And it's a video going around and she's like crying in the corner and someone's pouring water on her and she's just crying. She's getting money. So everybody's getting paid for doing all this craziness. But, why aren't we supporting the real businesses instead of these shenanigans? And she should read her GoFundMe roast for YouTube content. Yeah, I was looking for them. The comments that people were making were funny. They were roast worthy. But here's the thing. Even though people are roasting her, if you're giving like $5 to roast, $10, $15 to do all the roasting, you have to understand that she's basically going to be laughing all the way to the bank. She's laughing all the way to the bank. So that's the thing. And I can't even really find the little roast comments, but her GoFundMe is, you just type in Gorilla Glue GoFundMe. I really don't want to give her more shine than what's needed, but it is worth going through to read the roast comments. But they're donating to roast her, so you're paying $15 to make a comment that she's not even going to read, and you all are making her rich. So there it is. So you got to. So Ray, what do you think? You think this is a forgivable thing? You think maybe she should be banished, burned, trash, left on the floor? What do you think?
At this point, she's been burnt, trashed, and everything. She's done all of that to herself. So I'll probably just leave her on the floor.
Okay.
you.
Okay. You know what? I'm showing no mercy today. She's getting banished. There you go.
KO.
All right, get her out of here. Get her out of
Yeah.
here. Yes, yes. Get her out of here. So, uh-oh. It's an open panel. If anybody wants to come up and discuss and debate stuff, do not refer to her as ghetto. That's wrong. Did you refer to the insurrectionist as ghetto? Well, first of all, if you want to come on the panel, you can. It's an open panel right now. If anybody wants to come up and be a part of the broadcast and kind of explain to us how this is not ghetto, we're open to hearing how this is not ghetto, how this is something that we should, I guess, not look at as being ghetto. It just seems like putting Gorilla Glue in your head that is normally associated with mounting pictures on walls. It just kind of seems like a no-brainer. But I guess there are some people who are supporting, and they're kind of like, we are part of the Gorilla Glue Nazis. So if you all want to come on the panel, it is an open panel. You can state your opinion. Support your new, I guess your new mama, your internet mama. I don't know what. There's a whole bunch of clicks and stuff, but one thing, and I'm glad that what's her face, Kimberly Oglesby said that, because the next thing that we have is still associated with the Gorilla Girl, and we want to drive this home before moving on to the next thing, and that is that Gorilla Glue hair mishap comes to an end, highlights lack of awareness about black hair care. So the fact that, she did this, and there's people who are showing her sympathy, people who are actually donating to her. This shows that there is a lack of really understanding when it comes to hair care. Because I've actually heard people open their mouths and actually say that they could have made the same mistake, even though the hair care products are in a hair care section and the Gorilla Glue is next to the wood and stuff.
Thank you. How can you make that in a beauty supply store? There is no Gorilla Glue. I understand they have this Gorilla Gel and this Gorilla shampoo or stuff. I wouldn't even use that mess, but I understand they have that. But it's in the beauty supply store. Okay, Gorilla Glue is not going to be found in a beauty supply store or in a beauty shelf. She's 40 years old. She's running a daycare. She knows better than that. That was just stupid, and it was ghetto.
Yes. So all Jessica Brown wanted was for her hair to be laid, but instead she found herself in a scary, sticky situation. And everyone is describing this, just using some of the, and that's her down there in the corner right there. I mean, look, is it really worth it knowing that for the rest of your life, even though you got this money, your fame is going to soon fade and no one's going to take you seriously? But I don't know, apparently they do have Gorilla Gel, like Ray was saying, and again, the Gorilla Gel, I doubt it's going to be next to the wood and next to the chainsaws. But take a picture and let us know if you go there and you're like, oh, you know what, they do have the Gorilla Glue next to the chainsaws, and that's how we could kind of make that mistake.
And
so
using anything that's Gorilla in your hair anyway, even if they do have a Gorilla Gel and Gorilla, a lot of that stuff come from other countries, and they do that shit. Oh, they do that to be,
right,
disrespectful or whatever. Why would you name something that's for your hair Gorilla anything for black women?
Exactly. So she's been kicked off the mountain. If y'all want to go down there and try to rescue her, be our guest. But so right now, moving on to the next story. And again, make sure you all share, like the video, share the video. Ray and I's YouTube channel links are below. Definitely subscribe to both our channels. Share the stream. Help us grow the platform. Help us grow. And now we're going to move on to the next story, and that is the fact that Twitter is hater. Twitter and a lot of social media giants, they're still haters. They on some hating stuff. And a lot of you all are kind of applauding this censorship. We have a constitution and a Bill of Rights for a reason. We have it for a reason. And a lot of you all are so quick to let someone else's rights get taken away if you don't like the person. So Twitter to uphold Trump's ban, even if he runs for president in 2024. Twitter has said that former President Donald Trump's ban is permanent and will remain in place even if he decides to run for president in 2024. Twitter's CFO, Chief Financial Officer Ned Siegel made it clear that Trump will not be welcome on the platform now or in the future. Quote, the way our policies work, when you're removed from the platform, you're removed from the platform. Whether you're a commentator, you're a CFO, or are a former or current public official, remember our policies are designed to make sure that people are not inciting violence. And if anybody does that, we have to remove them from the service, and our policies don't allow people to come back. No one has actually quoted President Trump's speech as far as the part where he actually encouraged people to do an insurrection. No one's been able to do that because there's nowhere in his speech. We went over it on the floor. There's nowhere in his speech where he basically told people to go riot in the Capitol. He said we were going to walk there and let our voice be heard, but it was the onesies and twosies of knuckleheads that decided to storm the Capitol and try to stop the proceeding and hurt politicians. So we you are going to see from the second impeachment results, all this is a circus. It's a bunch of clown talk. But I know a lot of you all don't really follow everything, and you go off what people are telling you. And right now they're telling you all to jump off a cliff. A lot of y'all are going to be kicked off the cliff. Okay, 2021, we're not playing no games. So Ray, you got anything as far as Twitter being haters?
Yeah, pretty much that's all they are. They couldn't even get their stock price up to $100. Nobody really cares about Twitter. They don't really know how to market. You know, they struggle. You know, even after Facebook dropped the blueprint, Twitter is still struggling with how to, advertise and gain money for themselves. So who even cares about Twitter? The only people on Twitter right now are crybaby liberals, and hard left Democrats. So like, who cares? Nobody really cares about it. It's not that important. And Trump's name is what his name is. He can go anywhere and build something, and we'll all go over there. And so will they. Jack Dorsey will bring his butt over there.
Straight back. So to me, this is a dumpster fire because President Trump is going to be the first. Well, he's not really the first, but Twitter is going to be banning people, and other social media platforms are going to be banning people. And to simply say, well, go create your own social media. They have their own websites. So they have their own websites, but they were trying to use a platform where we, the people, are to communicate with us where we are, as opposed to having us go somewhere else. So to me, this is a dumpster fire for the simple fact that Twitter and other social media profiles or businesses are basically utilities, and they're trying to control the narrative, trying to decrease having multiple ways of looking at something and ultimately silencing people. To me, it's a dumpster fire. What do you think?
I think it's a treasure moment. I think pressure bust pipes and mixed diamonds. So
okay, since we're
it's not fair. What they're doing is not fair. But instead of arguing with them, sometimes you just have to move on and go be great somewhere else.
Okay. Since we're split, we'll leave it on the floor. Okay. All right. So again, open panel. If anybody wants to come up and voice their opinion. So Kimberly Oglesby says that is not true. One insurrectionist read his tweet from a bullhorn. I believe my own eyes and ears. Well, okay. So the thing is just because someone reads something and they interpret it a certain way doesn't necessarily mean that President Trump said, I want you to go storm the Capitol and riot. So someone's interpretation is just that, I could tell you the sky is blue, but your interpretation is the sky is sad because blue is associated with being sad. And there's people who do stuff like that. They're putting Gorilla Glue in their hair. They're, trying to justify Gorilla Glue in your hair to people who are trying to incite a riot in the Capitol. Come on, y'all. If you want to join the panel, do so. But, don't be a clown. If you do the clown talk, we're going to call it out. And speaking of clown talk, Unfortunately, I kind of like Kevin Hart. I think he's cool. I think he's funny sometimes. But one thing that's not funny is the fact that Kevin Hart's personal shopper is accused of stealing over $1 million. So, okay, I could see if you stole maybe $1,000. I could let $1,000 go. Because $1,000, you might be like, I didn't know it was missing. I got so much money. $1,000 is missing. But $1 million, Kevin Hart, how does someone steal $1 million from you? I think what it is he's just trying to, bring attention to this by saying $1 million, but they probably stole $1,000. So anyway, Kevin Hart reportedly fell victim to $1 million scam, which was carried out by one of his employees. The comedian's personal shopper, Dylan Sire, is accused of defrauding Hart of $1.2 million between October 2017 and February 2019. New York prosecutors say Sire began working for Hart in 2015 and began building the actor's trust through authorized purchases. However, as the years went by, Sire allegedly began using Hart's credit card to pour money into his own account. So, okay. Here's the reason why this is foolishness. Okay. How is it possible for there to be no oversight or separation of accountability, to have checks and balances? Because the fact that Sire had all this power to use Kevin Hart's credit card to just send money directly into his own account for 2 years for $1.2 million, I wouldn't be surprised if it came out that Sire was more than just an employee. And that's how he was able to go without being checked. Ray, what do you got? Oh, and also alleged. All alleged.
Yeah, alleged. I'm laughing at that one. I don't know. I just think that celebrities are really irresponsible with money, especially, quote unquote, black celebrities. We see so many of them lose fortunes, homes. The IRS come in because they don't understand that they have to pay taxes in a certain time, a certain amount. So the first mistake Kevin made was giving this guy his credit card. If you have a personal shopper, you should have a loaded card, or what they call a prepaid card, and you should fill those cards with the amount of money you want, and let that be that. If you need to make an extreme purchase that's like over $500,000, you should do that yourself. You shouldn't allow somebody, to go and make a purchase like that in your name. He shouldn't have this guy doing it. Somebody said, one for you and two for me or something like that. So I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. But it's real. It's real. And, celebrities need to get wiser with their finances.
I agree. So I think this is, I don't know. To me, this is trash because I think it's more to the story. And I think it's more to the story than just what was, telling on. And I'm not trying to bring up the past, but Kevin Hart was with that one woman in that hotel, and he might be someone who likes to party. And that's how all this, I'm just saying, alleged. It's just when you go through and read the story, it just kind of seems like it's hard to believe that someone's going to get over on you for 2 years up to 1.5 or $1.2 million. Because I don't know.
Don't pay attention. I'm telling you. There's so many celebrities right now. It's a guy helping them out right now because so many of them have been robbed. Big names. I'm telling you. They don't know anything about contracts. They really don't. They act like they do, but they really don't.
So to me, this is a treasure moment because it brings awareness to the fact that not only do you got to watch your employees, but you got to have other employees to watch your employees. Then you got to have other employees to watch that other employee. You got to have people watching each other. So I think it's a treasure moment because people can learn from this. Better for Kevin Hart to get frauded out than us. So What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree.
All right. Treasure moment it is. So Now we have our friend in the comment section stating that I said that no one read his tweet. Yeah, people definitely read his tweet. And I'm sure she probably has the same thought process as the next person coming up to the stage. That is Kiki Wyatt. Kiki Wyatt has a lot to say. We need a mulatto lives matter for oppressed biracials. Kiki, Black Lives Matter is a hashtag, just like Make America Great Again are hashtags. So you could just literally just start using mulatto lives matter. But I guess she's being the mad mulatto. Okay, whatever. R&B singer Kiki Wyatt is upset at how large the Black Lives Matter movement has grown. She's hating. Black Lives Matter's gotten real big. I guess she was out there marching, and then when she just kind of said mulattoes are cool too, people were like, this is the wrong, maybe you're at the wrong protest. According to Kiki, she feels that Black people are doing too much with their fight for racial equality. And then she says, mulatto lives matter, but I guess Black people are doing too much. We'll continue. So Kiki was on a live stream discussion when she started blasting Black people fighting for civil rights. The fight not to be disproportionately killed by police, or not to be harassed in public spaces by non-Blacks, or not to falsely be accused by non-Blacks at the drop of a dime and have the police be used as their weapon, stuff like that. To that, Kiki explained, Black people aren't the only ones that have gone through discrimination. She continued, so have Mexicans and so have Jewish people. So Kiki, you got to pick a struggle. Are you saying all lives matter? Or are you really trying to, lean into the mulatto lives matter? Because the term mulatto is a derogatory term. So it's kind of like when Black people get on like a rap track and use the N-word with each other to say that they're going to take each other's lives. It's just somewhat like you can't really be like, this is a positive thing when you're using a negative term. So, I mean, mulatto lives matter. I think if you want to do that, cool. If you want to do all lives matter, cool. That's up to you. But I don't think that you should try to make yourself or your plight bigger by trying to make someone else's smaller, when in fact Black Lives Matter is a hashtag. We're not talking about Black Lives Matter Foundation, that LGBTQ stuff. We're talking about a hashtag people put online and go out and protest and stuff. So Ray, what do you think?
I'm not a Black Lives Matter fan. So I'm a little bit annoyed with them at times. But I think Kiki feels left out. She mentioned that mulattoes or, biracial people are excluded. And I agree with her. Even if you come on YouTube, you have a lot of Black people saying, mulattoes aren't Black, and they can't be part of the Black Power movement, and they should, go over like to where the white people are. But at the same time, they struggle with, going over to where the white people are. They find themselves often not being accepted. And she came out and she said that she was still holding on, to things from her childhood where she felt excluded by Black people. So when you get biracial people who act like Kiki, that's what it is. She really wants to be a part, but she doesn't know how, and she feels that you'll exclude her. So, not to cape for her or nothing, because she was disrespectful, or whatever, but I understand that, her way of thinking. I understand it.
Okay, so you know what? I don't even know how we would even rate this. I mean, I don't think it's something that we should kick her off the mountain about. I don't think it's necessarily a dumpster fire or trash per se. Do you think we should keep it?
Yeah, I think we should keep it, because the Black people aren't going to go at Joe Biden for all the disrespectful stuff that he has said while running for presidency. And as the president, I mean, how are we going to really hold Kiki to the fire? And at least she came out and apologized.
I got to give you pushback, because Black people collectively did not go against Joe Biden at all. I think collectively we've leaned into the 1994 crime bill. We've leaned into Jim Crow Joe. But
oh, right. That's what I'm saying. Like if we weren't going to attack Joe Biden, how are we going to? Why waste time attacking Kiki? Like why hold her to some type of standard when we can't hold our president to a standard? It's I don't know.
we know why that is. We're not gonna say it here. We know why it is. It's a we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. So I think okay. I could agree with the whole keep it. I could agree with the keep it. So we'll do that. And then we got Amanike Mama Max on the panel. We'll let her speak after we keep this. All right. So joining us is Amanike Mama Max. How are you? Welcome.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So do you have anything as far as the Kiki situation or anything else you've heard on the broadcast so far?
Okay, let's go backwards. First, let's start with Kiki. I don't know much about her, but I'm going to say something people are probably going to get at me. But I do have some biracial folks in my family. Honey, they got problems. I said it. They have problems. They really do. Because um especially if they're brought up in a black family, they're not accepted by white folks. They're not accepted by black folks. They have to define themselves. You know what I mean? And people are trying to define them. So they have issues. They have some serious issues for the rest of their life. So what can I say? They're not ever fully accepted. So they struggle.
Interesting. I can see that because I've actually heard some stuff online. Shout out to Laurie, and other people who identify as biracial or mulatto that while growing up they weren't black enough, they weren't white enough, and it's like they were just kind of outcast. So I can attest to hearing that kind of thing. So also joining the panel is Kai. I think that's a New York 007.
Hey,
Is
y'all.
that
Hey,
what?
CK.
Hey,
It's
what's going
Kai.
on? What's going on? So, what's up, Kai? So, you got any thoughts on the Kiki situation or anything else you heard on the broadcast?
Yes. I think I'm stuck in an echo. Shoot.
Oh, we don't hear an echo on our end, but it might be because maybe you have your YouTube still open.
Oh,
I'm gonna step
shoot.
away for like 3 seconds, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Sorry about that. Okay. Hi, peace out of the panel in the chat. Jumping in with Kiki Wyatt. Well, just briefly too, you mentioned about Kevin Hart. That was cool that you picked up on that because he you know how he's been with his extramarital affairs.
Right.
I had no idea that money was missing, so I'm going to kind of look into that myself and draw my own conclusions. And what you and Ray touched on too about just knowing your financial and having people double check other people too, because I think that's how a lot of people lost money. When you make it big, you feel you have so much money, you're straight, and that's when people can come in and kind of be stealing it. You might not even notice till it's too late. Kiki Wyatt. Beautiful singer. She has a big family. I've been questioning her lifestyle for a while now. I think because she has a lot of kids too, and I just wanted to know more about her. She shows that on YouTube, but now with the latest thing of her complaining about the mulatto, well, the biracial thing, I'm a little surprised. I've heard of mulatto. Well, I don't really like saying mulatto because technically mulatto means Italian and black. If I'm not mistaken, in the dictionary, there's a particular two races it takes to be a mulatto. So when I talk about someone that's more than one race, I usually just say biracial.
Yeah.
But for her being biracial, I didn't realize she felt that way, and maybe more do. But I still have to say that I feel at the end of the day, they get, when you're mixed and depending on how you look, you get to play both sides a little something. So if you're going to come at black people as a whole, like, hey, don't keep leaving us out, black people are going to listen. But at the same time, we have individuals that have a unique look that can play around. You can play around with the whites with that look. You can get ahead a little more possibly with them than we would say a darker skinned person. So I feel that it's only right to show all the tips of the scale. I'm not going to sit here and accept a biracial woman that now wears blonde hair and wants to look more like mom, possibly, which is the white woman. You can't come and just complain that, oh, the whole world is against you. You are made up of two different races. And a lot of times, sometimes they play games with those two races, depending on how they look and what mood they're in. That's not fair to everybody else.
Exactly. Yes, thank you. Really appreciate that. So Ray, you got anything else before we go on to the next topic?
No, I was just listening to what the sisters were saying.
Okay. Anybody else want to speak on the Kiki situation before we move on?
No, I wanted to talk about the ghetto girl.
Okay. Well, hold on. Don't say ghetto, because there's somebody in the audience, Kimberly Oglesby, that believes that not only, I guess, is it okay that she used the Gorilla Glue, but don't call her ghetto. So, Kimberly, if you'd like to come on the panel to defend yourself, go ahead.
She is G to the 4. She is the ghetto Gorilla Glue girl. G to the 4. Okay? She is ghetto. How can you be a 40-year-old mother of 4 or 5? You are a daycare worker and you're telling me you cannot read? Reading is fundamental. She did not get that Gorilla Glue at what do you call those stores? One of those stores for hair.
The hair care store.
Right. She got that at a hardware store.
Right.
Now for the place, when you get the hair care, they do have one that says Gorilla Snot. Okay, I have natural hair and I know this. She knew what she was doing because she said so. I saw the video. She knew what she was doing. She was trying to so-called lay it. Come on, with that, she should have known better. It's called reading. It clearly states on there, do not put it on your skin. It is an irritant.
Wow. See,
yes.
I mean, I assumed, but it says it on there as well. Come on.
Yes, it's in small print. Any type of thing like that. Elmer glue, all that stuff, it says it in small print. She wanted to experiment. That is ghetto. If you didn't have money, she could have gone to Walgreens. She could have gone, got some Dax hair grease, mix it with water and slick it back. Come on now. Now that's old school when you get the Dax hair grease, mix it with water, get a brush and slick it back. Come on, she's 40 years old and she has kids and she's over other children. She is ghetto. I find her disgusting, and no, she's not going to return the money. Damn, and she's doing this in February, Black History Month. Oh my God. Oh, and guess what, guys? A friend sent me, this is even bad, this is worse, sent me a video. A man wanted to prove that this Gorilla Glue is fake. And he put it on his lip and put a cup on his lip, and he had to go to the hospital.
No.
Yeah, my friend sent me the video.
Make sure they put him on a psych ward afterwards.
Yeah, people play too much. So yes, I agree. She's ghetto. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I just had a question. That girl, well, the woman, Tessica Brown, did she record herself actually spraying this stuff on her head too? Like, was this all a whole big internet involvement?
From what I saw, she spoke about it. She had the can. It was on TikTok, and it's like they posted that she posted the TikTok, and I saw it on Facebook. Okay. And she said she showed the can of the Gorilla Glue spray, that it comes in also in a big can, which I did not know. And she said was using that to put in her hair. You could read it and it tells you what it's for. It is not for human consumption. It is
Right.
not for your hair. It is not for your skin.
Right.
And
Ray
Ray,
Ray got some right there.
yeah, she
Yep.
does.
I didn't even watch the video or anything because some
This
stuff
one
seems
is
so
for what?
ridiculous. It's like
This one
it's
is for what? Maybe
embarrassing.
you want to try to.
Well, okay, yeah, okay. I've seen that
Don't give them
before,
no
but
ideas.
the one she had was in a can that you could actually spray. So she was acting as if it was like hairspray. I didn't even know it came in a can like a spray. Yeah,
Yeah, she
disgusting.
basically, yeah, she went on her TikTok and told everybody about it after the glue was in her hair.
Yeah,
But just the fact that she didn't immediately go to the hospital or just kind of keep it private, and she was trying to make it public, she basically was doing it for clout. So yeah, I think we agree it's ghetto. And if anybody wants to come up and defend and say, "Well, no, it's not ghetto, it's this or that," be our guest. So yeah, anybody else have anything else about Tessica Brown before we move on? Going once, going twice. All right. So, and joining the panel also, Brother Speak. Welcome. So,
Speak.
hey,
Hey, how y'all doing?
what's
Hey.
going on? So, did you want to say anything about Tessica Brown or anything before we move on?
Other than the fact, is that really shocking? Chicks using people to get money and scamming everybody? That's nothing new. I'm not really surprised. Nothing. What more to say? Really, I did come up to talk about that Kiki Wyatt thing that happened.
Okay.
Basically, I don't give a shit what she thinks because to me, she's a piece of shit person. So anytime I see a piece of shit person crying about their mistreatment, I just ignore them because my thing is, if you're not like, I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but if you're a person that has been at least decent human being, and you was complaining about something like this, I would give them more credit. This person, unfortunately, I don't give no credit to. I could care less. I say it's just like K. Michelle when she's crying that nobody gave a fuck about her when she had she had a problem with her implants. But you see how she treats all her friends. I don't give a shit. So for this particular chick, I don't give a shit what she thinks. I don't care if she feels like she's been hurt. Like, go cry river, then tie a cement block to your leg and go sink in that river. That's just how I feel.
Well, is that just her in particular, or all biracial people?
No, like I said, the biracial people in my family, they don't talk like this. They don't treat anybody any different. They don't feel like they have any type of privilege per se. They just living their lives. And if they were saying they were feeling left out, I would give more credit to them. But her in particular, fuck her. She can go, like I said, cry a river, take a cement block, tie it to her foot, and sink in that river. These are the
Ask
type
why?
of people.
Can I ask why? Why did you say Kiki is a piece of shit person?
Just the reality TV show that she was on and how she treated her husband when he was trying to be at least a decent human being, and she wasn't. So that just
Okay.
that when I see something like that, when you're abusing someone, I don't give a shit what you think you're crying about. I'm just gonna say, go cry in your river, tie a cement block to your foot, and sink in that river. Any mistreatment that
So I got
you
one
get,
question. I got one question. Is the husband still with her?
I think they did.
No.
trying to remember. I'm
They
trying to
they
remember if they
divorced.
divorced. I
Okay.
think they divorced. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Okay.
That was a
He left. His name was Michael, right? He left her because of the treatment that I do agree with that. The way she was treating him. But I just feel like there's more to a person that we don't know and we don't
Right.
get to see. We saw her acting a certain way to him, but we don't see how he was to her. Not
Yeah.
caping for anybody, but it's always two sides to a story.
It is reality television. They kind of give you what they want you to see as opposed to the full story. And but yeah, if they're divorced or he left her, it is what it is. But okay. Does anybody else want to say anything about the Kiki or anything that we've kind of gone over before we move on to the next thing? Going once, going twice. All right, so it's a very sad day for the right because people are actually having this conversation. But I personally think it's kind of good because we got to get rid of people who are Republican in name only, also known as rhinos, or people who are just not really conservative. Because I got it, the grand old party, the right, conservatives, whatever, MAGA supporter, Trump supporter, whatever you call yourself, the right is normally has been traditionally associated with conservatism. And there's a lot of people who they're not on that conservatism. They're kind of like they went Republican to win a political election, or they're Republican in name only. They want liberal policies to solve individual problems. It's a whole mess. And in my opinion, President Trump came in like a wrecking ball and he fixed a lot of the problems. He called a lot of stuff out. He even gave us the term fake news, whereas a lot of people were just believing the news organizations. And, President Trump was the first person of prominence to actually point out the fact that the news organizations are not your friends. Anti-Trump Republicans discussed organizing a new third party. I say good, go away and go lose in whatever party you're going to be in. That way we can actually get things done for people who like the right wing, and the right wing is normally associated with capitalism, laissez-faire capitalism, libertarianism, which I'm more of a libertarian than just fiscal conservative. But a veteran GOP strategist who was on a major call with dozens of former Republican officials from past GOP administrations to discuss forming a breakaway conservative party. And see, this right here, this is why it's clown talk. There already is a conservative party and they run every election cycle. There's also a libertarian party, a green party. We're more than just Republican and Democrat. I digress. And he tells Fox News that this discussion was just the first step. The gathering of more than 120 critics of former President Trump, which was first reported by Reuters, included more than 120 former officials who served in the Ronald Reagan, George H.W. George Bush, and Trump administrations, as well as the Republican strategists and GOP appointed ambassadors. Multiple sources who attended the meeting confirmed, quote, "This is just the beginning of the conversation. The purpose is to discuss, I think it's to distract, and explore all of the options, all of the possibilities of how to advance a principled, effective center-right movement." A participant in the meeting who asked to remain anonymous to speak more freely had told Fox News. So Ray, what do you think?
Good riddance. I heard the story differently. I thought that I heard that Trump was actually organizing a Patriot party or something like that. He said he's going to be active very soon. So, I don't know. Who cares? The people are with Trump. All of these people were with Trump. So they can go wherever they want to and they can fall off the face of the earth. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think people are really concerned about these guys, these rhinos, going anywhere. We want them kind of gone anyway.
Yeah, I think if forming a MAGA party or a different party that's positive in nature, okay, cool. But people who have identified as anti-Trump Republicans, it just sounds like mess to me. Because if you're basing your party off of being anti-Trump as opposed to being, conservative or laissez-faire capitalism, or, even if you're someone who wants corporatocracy, let us know what you stand on, not what you're against. Usually that's a recipe for disaster.
Right. And they support socialism. In other words, if you're against Trump, then you support socialism, and you really want to be a Democrat. So just come out and tell us you want to be and go over there.
Okay. Anybody on the panel want to kind of speak on this? Anti-Trump Republicans discussing organizing a new third party.
All I gotta say is, united we stand, divided we fall. This is dividing up the country even more. It's not good. Not good at all.
I'll just say the country is already divided. Under certain leaderships, we will become even more divided. Hopefully we won't. As far as parties, to be honest, I'm not even sure what political party I am anymore, because my leaders our leaders to me have not been showing good leadership skills. There's too much of a lack going on. And if it's really about the people and the people that need it the most in the community, I do feel we need to come up with an additional political party. It's not going to say that we're against people and stuff like that. What are we for? So I like how CK put it more like that. What are we more for and about? Versus, oh, we're anti this and anti that. I wouldn't agree with that. Yeah.
So, Brother Speak, you got anything? Yeah, I mean, is it going to be something like a Tea Party? Is that what they're going to? The Tea Party did a lot of damage to the politics around here, especially, affecting a lot of things that Obama was trying to do. So, I mean, is they going to do something like that?
Right now, all we know is they're anti-Trump.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, the Tea Party did do a lot of things. I think President Obama not doing anything for Black people was damaging in itself. That's definitely debatable. And the fact that we're not getting the platinum plan is also damaging, because a lot of people were kind of banking on that. So in my opinion, inaction is just as bad as action that's offensive against us, because there's a lot of disenfranchised communities. Unfortunately, most Black neighborhoods or Black communities that are run down and are not doing so well, majority of them are in Democrat districts, unfortunately. So we keep voting for the same machine. And I kind of agree with Kai in that, you don't really want to vote for a party or a person per se. You want to vote what's in your best interest. And I'm for, I want smaller government. I want the government to be out of my business. I want my freedoms. If anybody is supporting that, plus capitalism and helping to fix problems the government created, I'm all for it. But now, if you're trying to do a 1994 crime bill, I'm not with that. But then again, a lot of people who look like me voted for a guy who sniffs hair and sniffs butts. So, it is what it is. But Brother Speaker, sorry for cutting you off. You have anything else you wanted to add?
Well, yeah. So if they're going to actually do something and reform the Republican Party to where it's a benefit to Black people, then yeah, why not? But if it's just because we hate Trump, well, guess what? The reason why that whole I hate anybody but Trump got you Biden. Anybody but Trump got you Kamala Harris. So just take that into consideration. If these anti-Trump Republicans want to do a third party, just remember, Biden and Harris is in office right now because of that anti-Trump sentiment. And we'll see how these 4 years turn out for everybody.
So Ray, you got anything as far as a response?
No, I think I said what I needed to say already.
All right. Anybody else got anything else? Going once, going twice? All right. So let's see. The vote is, so me personally, I think I think they should be banished. What do you think, Ray?
Yeah, get them out of here. Get them the hell out of here. Banished. Bye.
All right, you're off the mountain, guys.
KO.
Yes.
All right, so there's people who are dancing in the street off this fake impeachment stuff. I mean, it's nonsense, but here we are. So the question was asked, can President Trump remain a political force even with the second impeachment? And let's see. So we got a little video here, but we'll kind of wait for that. But so in my opinion, all right, so we're going to watch this video and we'll come back with the commentary.
How do you, as the defense team, the Trump defense team, make the case that the former president, was using common political rhetoric when he used those words and not trying to incite violence?
Yeah, and he also used the word peacefully, which many of us know there are peaceful marches and peaceful demonstrations around Washington all the time. So the fact that he used the word fight, we all use that in our everyday lives. It's certainly in political speech. If we did a clip of every Democrat using that word, I imagine it would go on for hours. So I think that is being taken too far. And the American people really are upset right now because what they do want to see are Democrats fighting to get our kids back in school and fighting to get this vaccine distributed to the American people instead of fighting Donald Trump over and over and over again, which they've done for the past 4 years.
Ronna, obviously the goal of the House managers is to take former President Trump off of the political playing field, which they could do if they got a conviction, unless Chris Wallace's theory happens to come to pass. But if the president is acquitted, given everything that we have heard here in these presentations, can he still remain a political force in the Republican Party? Can he still be useful in helping people get elected in 2022?
Well, I think all you have to do is look at 2018, where the president wasn't on the ballot and we lost seats in the House, and 2020, where we've gained 15 in districts where the president won. He was a huge force on the ballot, and there's a reason why people love President Trump. He fought for union jobs. He gave us energy independence. He made sure that we had deregulation, that we had rule of law judges, that he fought for secure borders.
But you don't think this proceeding would wound him to the point where he could no longer be effective?
Oh, I think people move on. I think we saw that with the impeachment that happened a year ago. That wasn't a factor in the last election. I think most people are looking at this as a partisan act. The president's not in office any longer, and the Democrats continue to push this narrative forward that they're going to go after Donald Trump time and time again. And my gosh, isn't it time we start working for the American people?
Yes. So Ray, you want first swing at this?
Yeah, I most certainly think that Trump will be a powerful resource for the Republican Party. Promises made, promises kept. He brought us money. He brought us jobs. He held people accountable. He made he had the foster care program done, and that was for the homeless teens who were aging out of foster care so that they didn't have to end up on the streets being sex trafficked. So he cared about our youth, black and white. The jobs, like I said, so many things, the First Step Act, so many things that he delivered to us. And I think that's why people respect him, because he delivers. Despite his rhetoric, he delivers. So he's definitely always going to be a force, always.
Yeah, one thing that wasn't mentioned was the fact that he went up against China. If you look at your clothes, everything has came from China, and a lot of corporations have sent their intellectual property to China. And after China produces their goods or whatever as far as services, they take your stuff and reproduce it. So China has always been a thorn in the side of America. Not as bad as the Federal Reserve Bank. I won't go on a tangent about that, I promise. But President Trump was the first one to call out China, put America first, and that platinum plan would have really helped out. But we can't cry over spilled milk. So I definitely think that it was more positive than negative. And in Joe Biden's first week, he did a whole bunch of executive orders to reverse course everything that was positive from President Trump's presidency. And, Biden was even trying to have 100 days of no deportation. Like, if you're here illegally or you want to come illegally, you're here and you can do whatever you want. The coyotes, the drug cartels right out here in Las Vegas, we got an MS-13 problem. There's a lot of things that were problematic. And, fun fact, the more illegals that come in that overwhelm whatever economy they go to, that's less jobs for people like you and I. So that's the main thing is, the whole build the wall, even though that kind of didn't go according to plan, he did put America first. And it's, he did drop the ball a few times on a couple of important aspects. However, I think there was more positives than negatives, in my opinion. And now Joe Biden has rolled back all those positives that could have helped out the individual and corporations. And now, we're here and we're looking at, kind of living on our knees, asking for stimulus checks as opposed to opening up the economy and leaving well enough alone. So, Ray, you got anything else before we go to everybody else?
Yeah, I'm mad about the platinum plan. I'm still mad about that. We could have had a huge bag. Black people talk about getting a bag all the time, and we dropped that one. And I'm just really still disappointed about that. So that's all I really have to say.
So, brother Speaker Kai, you got anything? Going once, going twice. Oh, Kai, you got anything?
Mm-hmm. I'll be as brief as possible. With Trump, and what did you pose a question? I was listening to the information that you were given, but I didn't really know what this.
Oh, well, the question was just, can Trump remain a political force for the Grand Old Party or Republican Party after impeachment?
Okay. Oh, I don't think so. Is he a powerful man though? Yeah, I won't deny him of that. Did he let a lot of the Black people and people of color down? Yes. Did I expect it to be different? No. I knew the type of man he was before he became president. He just showed me more of himself that I didn't think he would do publicly. He does put America first, and that's what I look for in a leader. If you're going to lead, we're supposed to be first. So I do give him that credit. I'm one of the few people that I know. I don't know anybody else, to be honest, I don't think, but I've always been against immigration, illegal immigration, excuse me. And to be quite honest, until America gets a hold over our funding, even before COVID hit, I don't see why we have so many open arms into this country so much when we need more here. How do we keep opening the gates? Oh, everybody just come on in, come here. No, we don't even have it all together here yet. But we are known to be the richest, the wealthiest country. And I still have an issue with that every day. I still question it. Like, if we are so wealthy, where's the funds? And is that what's been being withheld that they're forced to kind of give us because of the mess that we've been in because of the health pandemic? The other thing I will say, the wall, I don't think that was, that was a bit unrealistic, the timing and the money management of it. But, other than that, you touched on China. I agree. I feel like we're just so in debt with China. We have been for so long. We keep getting new leaders that don't pay it enough attention, but Trump did. We get leaders that they're helping us accumulate more debt, and we feel good about it because we're using it, but nothing's replenishing it. We can't just keep using funds. So I do see where that comes in, and possibly cutting back on food stamps, things like that, because there is an extra waste. And the budget could be taken back some because there are more able bodies out here that could be doing the work than us depleting the emergency funds that are really supposed to be intended for emergency use, not to just be living off of.
So, Ray, you got anything? I think you're trying to unmute your mic.
Yeah, no, I was just curious as to what she felt Trump didn't do for Black people, because the Black unemployment rate was at like an all-time low. He was giving us school choice, prison reform, and he was coming back around to do the New Deal for us through the platinum plan. So I want to know what how you feel that he fell through as far as black.
Well, as far as unemployment rate, I believe it was at 12, let me see, 14%. So even when Obama was here, he lowered the unemployment rate. We keep not giving him credit. We've been giving it to Trump. Trump got in, he lowered it. I watched that, but I saw it lower by like 2%. 2% is a big deal, but looking at it on this end, it didn't look like a lot. He got it lower to, was it 12? You can let me know if I'm wrong. 12%. My last that I remembered was 14%. He got it to 12. That is a difference, but I'm not going to applaud him because he didn't do it all his own. I think we were already there. He helped it, but I honestly to help it, but I did see the change under his administration. For the Platinum Plan, there wasn't many specifics for Black people. I read it, I had it read to me. All it said was there was vague statements of helping small businesses, helping businesses in general, because that's what he is about, capital, money. So that was smart, but there was nothing in particular that I remember seeing. You have to tell me if I'm wrong and please quote it where it is, where it's specific Black people are getting this. Not everybody else and Black people. Black people are getting this, and it needs to be a good amount. Don't tell me you're giving 500 million to businesses when most of them are run by higher ups, non-Blacks, yeah, and Hispanics even own a lot. I think they had 80 million businesses. When they look at Black businesses, this barely touching the surface. So there's too much of an imbalance already with the Black people that were already here to help build the country. I believe and feel that they're owed much more than he would ever put in a Platinum Plan.
Yeah.
The other thing, she did mention schools. I didn't touch that. I'm not sure his implementation of the schools. So I'm a little unaware of that. Other than I do know that he helped with historically Black colleges, which is good. But I also read that that's always been in the presidential plan. They always contribute. So he may have contributed more, but he's not the first. He won't be the last president to help historically Black colleges. Prison reform, the reform that I know, like the 15A and all that from New York State, that didn't have nothing to do with Trump. That was Cuomo. That was Cuomo forcing the hand of legislation to say, we got to do a reform. Y'all not doing it. Y'all over there letting this go on partially basically under Trump's administration. We've had racial wars starting to break out between people, or crisis, I'll call it. Things like that blowing out of control to where the governors put police reform into place. I didn't really see that much done on Trump.
Now, I will say this much, when it comes to a president, he's in the executive branch. A president kind of has little to do with the economy. It's really the Federal Reserve Bank. That's a conversation for another time. But
so she mentioned reform. She mentioned prison reform. That's
let me just say something. What Cuomo did was gave into Black Lives Matter and defunding the police, allowing people to just no cash bails. That's what they did here, the no cash bail thing, where it doesn't matter if you stab someone, kill someone, you can just get out of jail. So that's what Cuomo did here in New York, which is awful because if you're from New York, you know what's going on here in New York. It's horrible here right now. Women are getting attacked.
It is, but what you just said, I never saw that.
It's horrible.
I never saw that.
The First Step Act is what it's called. That's what President Trump did. And what he did was make sure that people would be aligned with community before they were even released from prison, and made sure that they were employed through job training. Him and Ivanka, they did that together. And I forget, the other administration, but that's what they did as far as the prison reform, the First Step Act. And here is the Platinum Plan up right there. You see black, 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 like on the first 3 lines.
Okay, where give Black churches the ability. Okay, that's Black church. Where else?
Yeah, and
3 million jobs for the Black community. Yeah, we definitely jobs in the community, but we can all do a PowerPoint. I mean, not a PowerPoint. We can all jot down main ideas. His Platinum Plan wasn't even 2 pages long. You have to have details. You have to have a plan. It just sounds good to say 3 million jobs for the Black community, of course. And this isn't even the one that they were showing online and that was reviewed by politicians. It wasn't outlined like this. This isn't even the format.
Well, see, the thing about it is because he's in the executive branch, he has little to kind of do with the economy. So as far as the details, he would have to get with the governors of all the states to form out the details for each state. So the president is really like a figurehead in that he's mainly just like talking, because in the executive branch, they're mainly dealing with the military, law enforcement, prisons. He would have to go to other agencies to discuss the details and get them on board for the 3 million new jobs. Because to think about it, when 3 million new jobs, I mean, the government creating jobs not necessarily is a good thing. So as far as, you know, where the jobs would be, it could be the federal government, the state government, it could be private sector. As far as the details, he would have to actually sit down to hammer out those details that he would have if he was president. Same thing with the creating 500,000 new Black owned businesses. It's not guaranteed that there's 500,000 people or, you know, anyone who would want to create those businesses, but he would kind of talk and pitch ideas to help stimulate creating 500,000 new Black-owned businesses. You know, and as far as increasing access to capital in Black communities by almost $500 billion. So the detail of that plan, I saw the detail. Basically, it was giving an incentive for companies, people who had capital, and just really everyday people donating to a fund for building that $500 billion. And if you donated to that fund, you'd get a tax break as far as your when it came time for tax time. So a lot of this stuff does have details. Some of it does not, because when it boils down to it, the main place that has an impact on the economy is the Federal Reserve Bank. They pretty much, when you look at all three branches of government, none of them really cover the economy. Legislative branch, they do the laws. Executive branch enforces the laws. The judicial branch interprets laws. All of it is centered around laws and being lawmakers. But as far as the economy, that's you and I. So the Platinum Plan would have been a blueprint, and it would have had all of us sitting at a table to be able to affect different things like onshoring, manufacturing to advance jobs. You know, you can't really force a business to do onshore manufacturing, but you can kind of create a blueprint that a lot of people will agree to incentivize people to bring jobs back to America as opposed to outsourcing.
Yeah, and I find it hard to believe that Black people needed more details, because, you know, we gave you plenty of details on Joe Biden and they went and voted for him. So I find it hard to believe that. And if you scroll
Possibly,
down,
but we're talking about Trump.
There are more details if you scroll further down. This was a great thing. Now Black people aren't going to get anything. So, you know, you take bits by bits.
But see, that's what I have an issue with.
I'm gonna let you talk. I just want to say, whether or not it does everything all in one shot, he was offering the Black community more than anybody has in the past 50 or 60 years. So you take it and you walk away from the Democrats because they weren't offering you anything, whether you liked him or not. You should have voted for this. Like, our community should have voted for this. This was investment into our community. We saw that what was the name of those what is the name of the program, CK, that they had, that people, T.I., Charlemagne, people were doing good.
Opportunity zones.
So people were doing pretty well from that. So, you know, I mean, we got to give credit.
Yeah, Nipsey Hussle, which if you listen to Successful Ladies Live, it was really that other guy, but that's a different story. But yeah, I mean, the money was definitely out there. I mean, but you know what? Kamala Harris could dance real good, though. I think that's enough to vote him in. And then also, you know, Joe Biden will, you know, he will babysit your children. So, okay, Joe Biden will babysit your children. Kamala Harris will dance real good. Why is that not enough to vote Democrat? If we got, you know, and also Kamala Harris was offering to give people fried chicken. I think we got a pretty good deal with the fried chicken.
Maybe, but that's stereotyping.
It is. It is. I'm
With
sorry.
Trump, like I said, there was not enough details. This that you have here, like I was trying to say, I don't remember. This right here looks different from what he presented at first. It was a front and back. And that's why Roland Martin criticized it so much, because he said, there's nothing here, there's nothing here. But I said, I want to see it. I'm going to read it myself. I want to see what's on here. And it was absolutely vague. No, I don't stand by it. You're not going to do a quick rough draft and tell our people that that's enough, because it really isn't. But I do see where y'all saying, like, well, what are the other ones offering? Did they even print anything out? No, they probably didn't. But nobody knows if I voted or not, or who I even voted for. But I just feel like it really was not enough information. This that you're showing now was not there. And like I said, you did point out good points with the 2 areas where they talked about blacks. I'm not concerned about the black church like that. They all right. They're going to be all right. What I'm concerned about is the employment, not just the employment, but ownership. Whenever they talk about housing, it's for everyone, just like his plan. There's nothing specific for black housing and ownership. We need land and we need properties. That's what we need, along with employment. And an employment would be best coming from black-owned businesses, which he did mention. I saw that in the plan. Whether it was to come to existence, I just question it, because the man made it very clear. He can care a little bit about black people, a little something, but that's not enough. Black people need a lot. We need a lot, not slaps in the face to hang out with the Proud Boys when you feel like it, not hanging with the other white supremacists because it's kind of okay. Nah, we see all of that. We feel all of that. They will kill you. You can have a Trump hat on if you want to. Certain individuals want to take us out. Period.
So what about the
So
black people that take black people out? Because I'm from New York, you're from New York. I live in the city. I don't see a lot of white people. Like and when I go downtown, that's when I'm around, the white demographic, and they aren't trying to kill me. I've never went downtown and had anybody white down there try to kill me, make me feel like I didn't belong. But I've had my own make me feel like that. And I feel like we need to address that and stop with all of this, the white man this and the white man that. We have to fix and build ourselves and stop putting forget about them. Yes, you got racist white people, but forget about them. What about our own and what we do to each other? And it's a shame.
Well, we can't forget about them if they are a part of our leadership. You could say forget about them, but they're the ones overseeing us.
It is white supremacy. Joe Biden called black people Negroes all over television, made a crime bill so that you can be mass incarcerated, told you that if a crackhead had an amount of crack the size of a quarter, he made sure with a smirk on his face, he made sure that crackhead, the drug addicted crackhead, got 5 years in jail. So I mean, I don't know what do y'all want? Like somebody could beat y'all, and then y'all run right to the people who beat y'all. I don't understand it. That's why I'm confused. And I said, like, I'm kind of done with that because it doesn't make sense the way we think at all. Not strategic at all. I don't understand it.
Well, if I can get in for a second, I think it comes down to black people want people to be their friends and their buddies instead of being their allies. Even if Trump was a racist, I don't give a shit. If he was doing stuff for black people, I don't care if he's in his private life calling every black people he meet nigga. As long as he's helping black people on outside and we're benefiting, who gives a shit? It's just like with Donald Sterling. Yeah, he was a racist, but guess what? He was signing those big contracts for those basketball players. I mean, and so at the end of the day, who you want? The one that's meanwhile in their private life calling you nigga, but they're giving you opportunities and jobs? Or do you want the ones that say, oh yeah, well, we support you, but cutting your throat in the back and stabbing you in the back? It's like, which one do you want? And I think, and I kind of agree with Ray in that black people need to stop looking for the government so much to try to help them. Yes, racism happens, but guess what? You don't have no power to make them do anything for you. I mean, let's look at reparations. how you gonna make them give you the reparations? I know we go back to Japan and the Japanese, and then we talk about the Jewish people, but they made them do it. It's not. You think they wanted to give Japanese reparation? No. You think they wanted to give the Jewish people reparation? No. No, they didn't even want to give the gays reparation, but they were forced to. We as Black people don't have that power to do that. We have an opportunity to do it, but we can't. We can't even come together to fix our neighborhoods. We're still fighting each other in the street. We cut each other online in the street, social media. Look what happened to Ice Cube. Ice Cube had that plan, and he went over there to talk to Video Fox, and the first thing, one of the things she asked was, "What are you going to do for Black women?" But that's supposed to be for Black people, everybody. So it doesn't matter. You got all these racist people. If you ain't got your house cleaned up, how you gonna fix it? How you gonna fight the people outside if you got people inside waiting to stab you? I don't get that point. I never got it. That's why I don't go with that race loyalty stuff, because I believe, this is just personal opinion, most people are not race loyal. They're only loyal to their own interests. And then they put out a front saying that they're race loyal, but really they not. So, and the other thing about the Trump having political power after his impeachment trial, it really depends on what the Republicans are going to do from this point on, because if they're, I guess, fighting a good fight against Biden, they don't need Trump. But if they just laying down and bending over and taking it up the behind, that's going to cause a lot of people to go over and seek Trump out. So I think it really depends what the Republicans are going to do.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to Kai and Y2, I kind of cut you off. I get heated over this, so I'm not, trying to be rude to you or anything. So I just wanted to let you know that.
No problem, sister. And I don't ever mean to talk over nobody. That's why I was like, oops, sorry, let me shush, because I'm listening. I'm a great listener. Yeah. All right. Yeah, thank y'all for sharing. I don't know. I got to be honest. It does sadden me to hear what you are saying, this part. Hey, we got to choose one of these people. They're both out to get us in some kind of way, possibly, but let's choose one. We need to come to a place where we don't have to choose either. We choose who's the candidate. I want to see us bring someone in there, not just, dang, who are we going to pick, y'all? This last election got so scary. I didn't want to talk about it no more, because there's people that say you shouldn't vote. People said vote for Trump, vote for Biden. Either way, you're an idiot. And I was like, oh my God, like I had to tune it all out. I really did. And I don't know. I just know that our people and Black people in general can and will do better. And I think we're on our way. So I don't want, when y'all just said what y'all said, like CK said it and Ray said, well, now we don't have Trump. So now what? Now we're not getting anything. Now we're just stuck. And no, we're never going to just be stuck as long as we got each other and we keep pressing forward. What y'all doing with the discussions too is really good, whether I agree with it or not. There's fundamental all up in it. And I'm still learning, and I think we still can learn more from each other and maybe collectively kind of come up with some stuff on the side. Everybody don't even have to know right away, just possibly collectively come up with something, some other interest that we know we need in a political party. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, anybody got anything else? Ray, you got anything else before we bring on D Darrell? All right. So joining the panel, D Darrell, what's going on? You got anything you'd like to say about anything you've heard so far? Anything in the broadcast?
Yes, man. I would like to say hello to everybody. Appreciate for coming up. I'm getting ready. I'm gonna be quick. I don't want to take too much time because I have an interview in about 40 minutes. But I just want to propose some counter arguments, and from what I'm hearing, and this has been very consistent with those that I have debated with as it relates to the Trump administration and so forth. I mean, I'm a person that's more of a moderate, as far as being maybe a moderate Democrat, and I do have conservative values, but one could only, you have to be skeptical of Trump conservatism, because Trump is not really a conservative. I mean, Trump, if you look at the history of Trump, which I think a lot of people are ignoring, and not looking at the body of work of Donald Trump as it allowed him to get into the presidency. Because to be honest with you, Trump politics was mostly Democratic in New York. Okay. And also we gotta look at the fact that Trump, I mean, we can talk about the racial things that Biden did and the racially insensitive things that Democrats did, but Trump practiced the same behaviors in his business practices. He refused to rent to black renters. He redlined. I mean, he did things that directly. I'm not talking about the fact that somebody created public policy that uninhibited you to achieve housing and other things. He directly did that to black people. I mean, we cannot ignore the things that he did throughout his practice that, to me, typifies his value system. Not only that, I find it somewhat interesting that the quote unquote platinum plan was basically introduced in the tail end of his bid, as far as the tail end of his bid for being president for 4 more years. When where was the platinum plan 4 years prior? Why wasn't this introduced when you were running for president the first time? Why wasn't this introduced in the mid elections? Okay, why was this something you're gonna wait till the last 4 years to promise me something that's not guaranteed? And I'm supposed to expect basically vote on you based on a promise. And when you read it, I mean, I've read it because we actually, I don't know, CK, if you were there. I think you were, when the Black Balance Network, we basically assessed both plans, and in my opinion, both plans were trash. They basically, one plan, if you look at the when you look at the Lift Every Voice plan, it had all kinds of stuff in there. It mentioned people of color and other different groups, and sending money across seas for other different groups and so forth. And then the platinum plan basically had no specifics and where that money was going to be allocated. And so, to me, both of those plans were basically superficial documents that were not, with no intentions of actually making good on those promises. That's how I look at it. And so when we talk about leveraging for reparations and things of that sort, and that other people got those things, the government gave those things. You did not see at the time when Jewish people received reparations, you did not see them out there pressuring the government. Those were things that were offered because the government felt it was in their best interest to do that. From an international standpoint, they did that for the Japanese. They did that for the Jewish population, and also they're doing it also lately when they actually gave some form of reparations to the LGBT community. That was no major pressure. That they did that because they felt that it would make them look in a positive light from an international standpoint. As far as black people getting reparations, the only way we're going to receive reparations is if we take our intellectual property, our talents, our capital. We're going to have to take it out of as far as the American economy. We're going to have to boycott. We're going to no longer support businesses where people don't look like us. We're going to have to put our money to finance the politicians that we want. That's the way that's going to happen. If you think we are never going to receive reparations by the fact of us pressuring one particular group political party to achieve that for us, because they both don't believe in it. History has shown us that they both, be honest with you, prior to now, before reparations became a topic of discussion, it was ignored. It was something that they wouldn't even acknowledge in previous decades of politics. So this thing about, I mean, there's ways that we can do it, but the way we're going to do this is through us. It's not going to be through us depending on the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, because both parties have policies that don't benefit us. Both have policies. Both have shut us out of leadership, or they create a ceiling for us. They both done wrong, and so I have faith in. I don't have faith in any of them. I don't have faith in any of them. Now, one has shown to interact with us a lot better than the other and communicate, and they at least in some way are willing to sit and listen, and they've done a better job in putting us in as far as different positions and so forth. And that's the reason why we can't sit here and assume black people just voted for Democrats for nothing. No, they voted for Democrats for nothing, for reasons because they interacted and they've done a better job of campaigning to them. And at least, even if they were lying, at least they did say some things and so forth that actually dealt with the issues of our community. The Republicans, we cannot ignore the apathy that the Republican parties have shown to the black community. And even let's look at what's the guy name that was actually the
well, hold on, give us a chance to kind of address what you've said before we kind of segue. So I got some notes, and then Ray, then we'll bring on Faith because she just came on the panel. So President Trump is a fiscal conservative, yes. However, when it comes to voting, you pretty much have to vote based off what's in your best interest. So myself, I'm more of a libertarian. However, what President Trump has done and wanted to do as a fiscal conservative kind of supported my libertarian beliefs. His business dealings and decisions as a private citizen is separate from his political track record. What he did before assuming office is outside the scope as far as us talking about the Platinum Plan and perhaps him as a president. So I agree the Platinum Plan should have been introduced in the first term. However, black people collectively did not want black leaders to go talk to Trump. And the same thing with Republicans. A lot of black people on Twitter, black leaders, just period, will somewhat shun someone for going to talk to President Trump or even a Republican when it comes to black issues. And when it comes to people of color, we have to understand that people of color is like all people, not just black people. The Platinum Plan that's in the screen right now, it specifically says black people. Now, we'll never know if this will actually be something that come in fruition because President Trump's not president. And I agree that a black first and a black only movement as far as how we spend money would be good in practice, but I don't think it's likely to happen because we would have already done it already. However, it's good to still promote, support black business so that, people who choose to only want to support black business and black people can do so. So, Ray, you got anything before we kick it off to Faith?
Yeah, I just wanted to say he's talking about something that happened in the 1980s. Bring it forward to Trump Towers. All types of black people have stayed in Trump Towers and are renting from Trump Towers. Now, you cannot say how something is going to be allocated until it's actually inked and official. So he can't tell you exactly, well, we're going to give you 10,000, we're going to give you 5,000, we're going to give you 6,000. They can't do that until it actually becomes law. That's number two. Number three, on day one, when Steve Harvey and others went to go talk to President Trump, just like she said, everybody in the black community bashed them for doing it online and offline. So I don't know
what they wasn't qualified.
And for the fourth point, you're not in the Republican Party. So I don't know if you're not in my party. I don't know how much you expect somebody to come and talk to you. You're not in the party.
Yeah,
It's dumb to be.
They work for us. It doesn't matter if you're in the party or not.
It is stupid to put all your eggs in one basket, and you're never going to get anything like that. You need to branch over into the Republican Party, into the Independent Party. You shouldn't have any loyalty to any group until they produce for you. Okay? And the Democrats, or at least they give you a position and then turn around and stab you in the back. and make bills like the mass incarceration bill and allow open borders. So that, you know.
They first of all, we're
Oh,
citizens.
hold on, Dita, before you
Hold
respond.
on, hold on,
Let's
because I've
let's
been waiting.
kick
I've
off the
been
Faith.
waiting.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, let Faith go, and then D. Darrell.
Okay, because see, I have some questions for D. Darrell and the panel because I sit up here and I watch Black people vote for the Democrats who have done nothing for us in decades. Nothing. So now we got one president that comes into the office willing to come to the negotiation table with us to work with us on our communities, and we gave him our ass to kiss. And it doesn't make any sense. Like Ray and like CK are saying, what do we want? Because it don't seem like we want nothing. Now we set up here and we supported a party that gave us nothing for decades. And then when we get a president, not a party, because see, I vote for my best interest. I'm not a party person. But Trump was actually willing to come to the negotiation table. Now, let me ask you something, D. Darrell. What do you think that we need in the Black community for our streets to be safer?
What do you mean by that? Like for our streets to be safe?
Yeah, what do you think should be done in the Black community in order for us to have safer streets and safer
Well, in order
neighborhoods?
to have safer streets, you have to have stronger families, so you don't have people that will feel that they have to commit crimes in order to survive.
Okay, now let me read you something that Trump put on the table that the libertarians and the Democrats did not put on the table. First of all, he has something in here for safety and justice. Safe streets continue to make historic improvements to the criminal justice system through common sense actions like the First Step Act. And they were working on a Second Step Act too, by the way, including increased use of drug rehabilitation versus drug incarceration. Because remember, that crime bill that the Democrats put forth incarcerated us, as Ray said,
But that
for
was passed
small,
by a
for
Republican Senate, though.
hold on, for small crimes. But Trump, like I said, I'm not a party person. I'm looking at what Trump was putting on the table for us and what they weren't. Trump was putting on the table for us to get rehabilitation versus incarceration. That's number one. Then also, he announced a national clemency program to unite families and invest in human potential, focusing on wrongful prosecution and rehabilitation. What did we do? We got Kamala Harris in office. This is the person that has been putting Black men in jail for wrongful prosecution. We're doing the exact opposite of what we say we need in our neighborhoods. We're not voting in our best interests. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. Black people did not even read the Platinum Plan. That's what I'm willing to bet they didn't even lay eyeballs on what was on the table before they ran their Black behinds to the polls and put a racist back in office. Somebody that's even more racist than the person they thought they were getting out of office. So now what you thought you were getting, you're not getting anything. You're getting zero, zip, nada. And now you got a president in office that is sitting up here talking about putting forth DACA and giving clemency to immigrants and all this other stuff. So now he's already getting ready to replace our Black behinds. You think that this is going to help the crime in our neighborhoods when our children cannot find jobs? Hell no. So we did something ass backwards. We did not look at what was on the negotiation table. Black people don't want anything. We believe everything that white zaddy tells us. And I'm talking about Democratic right zaddy. Because I'm telling you, they're all racist, but I would rather work with the racists that's giving me something tangible than the racists that ain't giving me nothing at all. And I'll yield the mic.
Okay, I'm gonna just say a small thing. Like again, I know we're saying all of these promises. If I'm looking at his track record, I'm gonna judge Trump based on on his character overall. It's the same man that said your streets, your schools are trash, your neighborhoods are destitute. What the hell you got to lose? This man has come out and said all these negative things about Black people. This is the same man when they was marching in the Carolinas and so forth, saying that those were good people that were marching against Black people. I mean, I'm looking at his character. I'm looking at what he's
But you're
has
getting
been.
hung
Hold on,
up
wait a
on the
minute. I
words.
didn't interrupt you.
But I'm just saying, D. Darrell, you getting hung
Hold
up
on. But
on
what I'm
words.
alluding to is this. I know I may be coming off as if I'm being impartial to Democrats. I'm saying they both trash. What I'm saying is that we should. It doesn't matter. We should
Did
not
did
have.
did Trump
Hold on,
did
Faith.
he
Hold
did
on,
he or did
Faith.
he
Hold
not
on, Faith.
give us the
Faith.
First Step
Faith.
Act? Did
Hold on,
he or
Faith.
did he not give
Hold
us
on.
First Step Act?
Wait, Faith. We should not have common friends. We should have only common interests. And our interests.
But hold on, I'm looking at the
We should have
tangibles.
common
Look at
interests.
what Biden gave us. Biden gave us
Hold
the
on.
crime
I'm
bill.
not. See, you're trying to individualize this. I'm looking at the party and the people who are really
No,
behind
I'm
the
looking
power,
at the
behind the presidency.
tangibles.
I'm
You're
not.
looking at a
No, hold
party.
on.
I'm not a party
Okay.
person.
Okay. Listen. I'm looking at the parties themselves as far as their track record. The Republican Party has been apathetic towards the black community for the last 50, 60 years. And that's facts. We cannot say it. Yes, the Democrats have done things, and they have done things from a governmental standpoint as far as getting and influencing things through policy that has destroyed the black community. But the other side has been apathetic towards that. I can't ignore the fact that you have ignored anything I have had to say for the last 50 years. And then all of a sudden, Mr. Trump comes along and then, we're supposed to just forget about that. He still represents a party, and he has to follow those party lines and do things,
But
or
he
they're not
was
going to
though.
support him financially to be reelected.
D-Darrell, what you're doing is we've had so many different presidents over the last few
Yes,
decades.
and
I am looking at the current president and what the current president was willing to
he only
offer and
been
give us.
he only been a president for a month.
No. I'm talking about not this president. I'm talking about Trump. I'm looking at Trump and what he was doing and what he was
What did
offering.
Trump do? Okay, tell me this. Name me one bill that he passed that exclusively helped black people.
The
Name me
First
one.
Step Act.
The First
That
Step Act did not
exclusively, yes, it
exclusively help
did.
black people.
Yes, it did. It exclusively
How?
helped black people.
How?
Yes, it did because
So
it
you're
freed
telling me, hold on,
most.
Faith.
Look.
So you telling me in that bill
Hold
it said that
on.
this is. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you're telling me in that bill, the First Step Act was exclusively for black. It is written that it was exclusively for African American community.
Let me tell you.
Putting a clip up when they
Hold on,
signed.
is that what that clause says?
Where he talked about how.
No, I don't care about what he talked about. I'm caring about what is written.
You don't make no sense. What I'm telling you is
when
they were signing
did that law
when they were
say
signing
exclusively black people?
Order, Trump spoke
I'm
how
asking a
the
question.
policy
It's
was
a
wrong
yes or no question.
and how it harshly
It's yes or no.
incarcerated black people.
Yes or no.
White people.
Hold on. I asked the yes or no question.
It wasn't right.
Yes or no. Did it exclusively help black people?
Hold on. I got one for you, D-Darrell. I got one for you. When Clinton and Biden wrote that crime bill, did that crime bill exclusively say that it was only going to affect black people?
No, it didn't.
But who did it exclusively affect though? Who did it affect the most?
It hurt.
It hurt majority black people. Now you're being disingenuous. Even though no. D-Darrell. Who did it hurt the most? Who did it hurt the most?
It hurt us the most, but it
thank you. That's all I'm saying. So it don't matter about the wording. It don't matter about the wording. They know when they make these laws, they know exactly which community it's going to affect.
That's the bell. Let's go one at a time.
We're going to go. We're going to do this. I'm going to have to come in another time, man. I'm sorry I came in late. But I'm going to say this. I just want to know where it exclusively said that in the bill, in the law. If it said exclusively black people, then I'm willing to listen to that. But it didn't.
May I ask, does it have to specifically say black people for black people to benefit the most?
Well, the Platinum Plan actually says black people.
Yeah, that one I'm fine. I'm just saying for a law specifically, for a bill specific, does it have to say specifically black people for black people to benefit or?
Okay, did the LGBT reparations mention other people?
Not that I know of.
Exactly.
But,
well, I mean, black people did benefit from that.
You see that they do this wordplay, man. You got to look at things for specifically what is written. So when you complain, they're going to tell you. They're going to go back to the document, like they always do, and say, "Listen, You wanted this document. This document
But the
specifically
94
says
crime bill
this,
wasn't
that, and that.
specifically against black people, but it
It's a legal
specifically hurt
document.
our demographic.
It's a lot.
It was not
If you
written to
base it,
specifically hurt black people, but it
if
specifically hurt our demographic. So you don't have nothing to say about that though.
yes, but it hurt other people too. That's what I'm
But
saying.
it specifically hurt our demographic
No,
more than
can't.
anybody.
Okay,
Just like what you're trying to say, other bills that they wrote that didn't specifically say black people, but it also benefited other people too, including black people. It don't have to specifically say black people. They know exactly who they're hurting when they're writing these bills.
So are you going to be upset with the Republican Senate for voting for that bill?
What bill?
The crime bill. That was a Republican Senate that voted for that passed that bill. Are you going to get down on
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Republicans,
I'm upset with any party. Yes, D-Darrell, let me answer your question. Yes.
Was the Democratic Party. That was the party that was representing black people.
No, but they controlled. They could have shot that bill down. They didn't have to pass that bill. They did not have to pass the 94 crime. They could have did what they did to Obama and block all of everything he wanted to do. They could have blocked it.
They owed it to us to have more respect for the black community than that.
They could have blocked the bill.
They
didn't block the bill, so the Republicans are just as culpable. They're culpable. They are just as culpable as the Democrats.
But Biden's the one voted, though. I mean, so even
Biden
hold up, let brother speak.
Okay.
Okay. Even if they just said, yeah, we're going to pass this bill, Biden the one that wrote it.
Right.
He's the one that wanted that bill to pass. They just passed it. So who are we gonna get more mad at?
The people, the House and the Senate that voted for
it. Or the person that wrote the bill in the first place. He wrote it with the intention to hurt a demographic.
So you're gonna say they didn't read the bill?
I didn't say it. It doesn't matter.
They didn't read the. They just voted for something because Biden said.
We voted for the guy who wrote
the Republican Party voted for that bill. See, am I being historically accurate or am I lying?
That's what a Congress.
Why are we expecting the Republicans to shoot down a bill or do anything?
They should have voted the bill down just like they did other things they didn't agree with.
Okay. But
but D-Darrell, didn't the Republican Senate approve the First Step Act though?
Yes, they did.
So you just gonna ignore that?
But wait a minute. But see, we keep going back to this crime bill.
No, but hold on a second. But I'm talking about. Hold on. I'm talking about a president that actually came to office with tangibles, passing laws to help us. Which law did
do that?
Hold on. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Now, I want to ask you something. Which bill, which law did Trump pass, or did he create to hurt black people? That's what I want to know. While he was in office, which law did he create that hurt black people as much as that crime bill did?
Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm going to reserve from what I know now.
Don't do that, D-Darrell. Don't do that. D-Darrell, don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it, D-Darrell. Come on.
Hold on. Let me say this.
Okay.
As far as what I know now, he did not create a bill that caused the damage that crime bill did. I'm gonna say that. As far as I know, he didn't do that. But see, that we cannot. But see, we want to pass the blame totally on Joe Biden. Yes, he wrote the bill, but you know what? There are plenty of laws that if you don't agree or you think that it's bad for any segment of the American society, it's up to the Republicans or any party, whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans, to shoot that down. The Republicans had the power to not pass that 94 crime bill, and they passed it.
But the people who are in
the
people who are in the Senate and the House of Representatives, they are not running for president. They didn't run for president.
It doesn't matter, but
it does. That's the issue is that Joe Biden, who was a part of that thought process,
but
the think tank, he is currently president. So even though people didn't vote for it, they didn't block it.
CK, he only had one vote.
He's
Yes,
the one
he
that wrote the
it, but he
bill,
had one vote.
and he and that thought process and that mentality are currently president. That's the real big issue.
Okay. So then my question is this: where was all this heat for Joe Biden when Obama picked him for vice president? Because I didn't hear people talking like this when he ran for vice president.
Black people dropped the ball. You're right.
Nobody said none of this stuff.
We agree with that.
You're right.
But I'm saying is this: I'm looking at both sides. I care less, and all I know is this: the democratic process allowed the crime bill to come into fruition. I'm not going to put this just on one man. I'm looking at the fact that it went through the House, it passed. It went through the Senate, it passed. The president signed off on it. That's everybody that was in that process is responsible for the crime bill, regardless of who wrote it.
And who's responsible for the solution is the First Step Act.
Exactly. The Trump administration.
But hold on. But then it had to go through the House. It had to go through the Senate. They could have blocked it.
And the House and the Senate was the ones that passed the First Step Act. But you don't want to give the Trump administration any credit for trying to fix what happened in the past.
I'm willing to give them that props for that. But what I'm saying is,
so why did we not vote for Trump instead of Biden then?
Why did I vote?
I'm just saying, black people as a whole. Why did we not vote for Trump, who was trying to undo the bad things that the other administration did?
I don't get this.
What are you talking about? He passed the First Step Act. Yes, he was.
Hold on, guys. Give me some significant changes in the black community that have occurred under Trump.
So D-Darrell, you got some homework right here. Andrew Stoll in the comment section says he just looked up the roll call for the 1994 crime bill. It was overwhelmingly Democrat that voted for it, and saying that the Republican overwhelmingly voted against it.
It was
so that's your homework right there, D-Darrell.
It's in the House. The Republicans had the Senate during that time. The Democrats did not have the Senate in 94.
Well, that's why earlier in the broadcast we talked about people who are Republican in name only, as in these are people who are liberal, but they ran as Republicans, and they're pretty much hurting a lot of people because they're not really representing what they truly believe, and they're part of a party they shouldn't be in. So we've identified the rhinos.
Based on speculation. You only can speculate.
There are Republicans in name only, because the Republican Party is mainly conservative. When people run for Republican, they run on conservative principles.
Yeah, but what do they network? Who are they networking with?
You mean as far as like who's funding them?
It's on paper.
I mean, who's funding them is a little bit different than what they're running on, as far as, saying that I'm going to, cut taxes and do different things. But Ray, you got something?
Where did Nancy Pelosi get her $120 million from?
Well, they all get money from special interests. What do you mean? That's what everybody.
So why is that a big
politics?
We're not
talking on both sides. We cannot look at this. It is irresponsible to look at things as if what one party is doing, the other party's not doing. They both do it.
You're not in the.
What about this?
If you're not
talk about conservatism,
no obligation.
Let's talk about the corporate welfare that Donald Trump received. That's socialism.
Do something for you.
Corporate welfare is socialism. But nobody talks about the socialistic ways that Donald Trump accumulated his wealth. Can we talk about that?
How he accumulated?
Wait a minute. How he accumulated that wealth through socialistic means. He had corporate welfare. Just like other millionaires and billionaires, they accumulated wealth through getting access to capital through governmental means. That's corporate welfare. That's socialism.
That's what he was trying to do for you.
That is
well, I want to cut in real quick. I want to thank you, commendable Ken and Ray, for allowing me up. But I do have to drop down because I have to take my daughter to the airport. But this has been an excellent, lively discussion.
Faith, call us on your cell phone on the way to the airport.
All right, man. CK, I got to get out of here, man. I got an interview in 10 minutes. But
D-Darrell, make sure you hit us up. While the interview's going on, just put us on mute while you're talking during the interview.
All right, no problem, brother.
No, I'm just messing with y'all. Thank you.
All right, man.
Thank you, Faith and D-Darrell, for coming on the panel. I really appreciate it. All right. So yes, a lot of great points laid there. Ray, you got anything as far as a response?
I just we don't understand politics. I can see that clearly. No party is going to do something for you if you're not invested in them. And we aren't in the Republican Party. So I don't know why people expect them, to do something and create policy for you when you're not invested in them. You haven't gone over to say, okay, well, I'm going to invest in you and join the party. So why do you expect so much from them?
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off that before giving the brother speak. That a lot of black leaders and celebrities were saying that if anybody black, like Ti was saying, if anybody black goes to the White House, talk to Trump or any Republicans, you're a sellout. So the whole if you're black, vote Democrat's been around for the longest time, and it's always going to be there, whether we want to admit it or not. So, brother speaker, sorry you were cut off so many times. Did you have anything, or did you want to finish your thought?
Yeah, it's like, okay, we you want to blame, you will say, well, the Republican Senate voted for it. Okay, what were they going to do? I mean, he at the end of the day, the man that you voted for president wrote that bill with the intention to damage a group of people. That was his intent. Regardless if they voted for it, it's just like if I let some drugs come into my community, who am I going to blame? The person that made the drugs, or the person who let the drugs come into the community? The person who made the drugs know that these drugs is addictive and can potentially kill someone, but they made it anyway. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. As much as we want to look, I agree with D. on the part that both parties don't mean well for black people. I get that. But the thing of it is, like Ray said, we're not invested in the Republican Party like we are the Democratic Party. So what do you expect? You think it's just every other group, they're involved in both parties. So when they want stuff done, the stuff gets done for them because they're involved in both parties. We as black people mainly hang out with the Democratic Party. So the Democrats expect that. That's why they didn't really, besides all this goofy stuff that they were doing, that get your booties to the poll type stuff. I mean, they really don't really care about black people like that. And they expect that you're going to vote for it. That's why Biden could get away with saying, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. He was able to get away with it, and nobody got no smoke for him. The people who was around him had no smoke for him. And so you wonder why nobody takes you seriously. Because when you need to put the smoke on somebody, you don't do it. But Trump, who said that your neighborhoods were trash and all this was trash, which he was right. I mean, was he lying when he said all that? No. But you got smoke for him for calling out your shit. But the people that don't want to call out your shit, that just want you to wallow in it, you don't have no smoke for, and you vote for them in office, and then when they fuck you in the ass, you just sit there and take it. Or you complain, but it's too late now. You already got fucked. So I don't know. It's just like it's like we wanna complain after the fact instead of doing something about it from the start.
So, Kyle, you got anything before we kind of close it out? Kyle, you there?
Yes.
Yeah, you got anything before we close this thing on out?
I guess that's about it on it. Ray just said something I've seen. Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Oh, I know what happened. It's echoing. Sorry again. Yeah, say if you're not invested in a political party, then don't expect anything from them. I know that's what you said. But then there's there's people that are voting for certain parties, but not sometimes not always getting the best results from the people that are our leaders. But I just know for one, I'm not going to go to bat like that for either one because they both seem to be zaddies. So to be a sister and then be screaming Trump's name or Biden's name might not be in our best interest. but I still feel whoever is in leadership, they owe it to us, just as an American, to hear us out. And in larger groups, we can get our point across. We just got to go about it the right way. So yeah, I'm not going to lay down for it. I'm not a Negro that can be sold. We need money and everything, but you're not going to underhandedly just give a little bit of something that's not going to equate to nothing, and I'm supposed to just be happy for them. I can't do that. Just there's views that I agree with Trump that other people don't agree with, like when it comes to Russian affairs. All that. He's the first president I saw to touch on that finally, that nobody else really would. And then people question, why do I like Russia, or why do I just have my own views on allies. And I believe that when it's time for war, and as Americans, we want to win, we have to have the right allies. So I don't know. I think that's about it. But just in closing, I would like to hear more of our people, and like you guys possibly talking about what we can do, though. I know, all right, Trump apparently, didn't win or whatever, but what can we still do out here? You know what I mean? That y'all feel that we could do possibly politically together. So I would love to hear more about that. And maybe some more things we got in common, not just, different, so much. I don't know. But this was a good debate. Y'all was going in on a debate. I appreciate y'all time.
All right. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Brother Speaks. I'm going to drop you all down for Ray and I to close this thing on out. Thank you all for participating. And, everybody come back every week. We do this every Thursday between 3 and 3:30 Pacific time zone, 6 and 6:30 Eastern time zone. Definitely come on the panel, share the stream, help us grow the platform. Don't come in whenever you get ready. We know y'all showed up because of the whole glue thing. I was talking to Ray before we got started, and I was like, we can bait them in with celebrity news, and when they get here and they hear what else is going on, they'll stay and help us with the discussion, the conversation. So I think it was really good. A lot of great points being made. A lot of clown talk, but I won't do a clown talk on none of y'all. So don't worry about it. But so Ray, you got anything before we close this thing on out?
No, I think it went okay. It was productive or whatever. It's good to have debate.
Yeah, I'm gonna make an animation for like a bell for boxing bell. So if people get too rowdy, I'll play it. But it's kind of good to let people go back and forth because people got to get that aggression out. But when it gets to a point where it goes 5 minutes, then I'm gonna start doing the boxing bell. So yeah, hopefully everybody enjoyed the broadcast. Definitely share, watch from the beginning, and subscribe to Ray the Awareness channel. Let's get her to 2,000 subs before the end of the summer. Also, Ray's Cash App and Patreon is right there, scrolling across the top. Both of our Cash Apps and Patreon are in the description. Definitely share to all your friends and family about us, even your enemies, people you don't like. Tell them about us as well. And you all keep joining the panel. Really appreciate it. So yeah, that's the video. Let us know in the comment section your thoughts. Thumbs up the video, share to all your social media platforms, subscribe to both our channels, ding the dong, bing the bong, all that great stuff. And until next time, we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Salute. And we are out.